Future faking. I'm going to help you to understand what it is in terms of a narcissistic relationship. Hi, my name is Michele Paradise, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Delighted to have you here. I bring evidence-based information coupled with my own personal experiences to you to help you navigate challenging relationships, especially the one with yourself. And today I'm going to touch on and unpack another term in a narcissistic relationship called future faking. And if it's your first time you like my videos, please hit the subscribe button. It helps us to do better. The definition of future faking in a narcissistic relationship refers to the manipulative tactic where an individual makes false promises about future events, the future faking, or commitments to influence and control another person's behavior in a narcissistic relationship. So I'm going to unpack this, but what you might notice is this also refers to another term that I've done another video on, so we'll drop that in the information below, which is called breadcrumbing, which I'll explain in a bit how this relates to this. But this technique is often used to create a sense of hope, keep the partner invested, and maintain power over them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some examples. But let me just get back to breadcrumbing for a moment, because breadcrumbing is a tactic within this. And the easiest way I can describe this to you is imagine that I don't know if you've ever done any online dating. I have, and I've experienced this. And breadcrumbing is, let's say you're talking to somebody, but they're talking to 5 other people. You may not know this, but you'll know by the way that they respond to you. You'll become aware of it. So breadcrumbing looks like this. They might not consistently communicate with you. They might drop you a little breadcrumb every now and then by saying something like, "Hey, how you doing? Haven't spoken to you for a while, but still thinking about you." And you go like, "Oh, wow, this is great. I haven't heard from him for 2 weeks or heard from 2 weeks, and they're still thinking about me." But they never really make any firm plans with you. So this is a great example of what breadcrumbing is. What they're doing is they're just giving you a little bit to keep you invested, to keep you feeling that you are important in their life and that they would like to date you, meet you, whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some examples of what this looks like in a narcissistic relationship. And a really big one is the promise of marriage or long-term commitment. I'll refer to the narcissist, and I'll refer to the non-narcissist as the target just for clarity. So the narcissist partner or the narcissist frequently talks about getting married or settling down in the future, despite showing no real intention. So let's say that the target talks about making wedding plans or making a commitment to each other by moving in together. And the narcissist will say things like, "Yes, oh, I'd love to do that. That would be great. Really looking forward to that." But, or they may say, "I can't wait until we get married and have kids together. It's going to be amazing." So you, the target, start running this film of maybe white picket fences. You see yourself walking up the aisle, whether you're male or female, and you see yourself being married to this person and everything going beautifully. So they're really giving you lots of visuals or lots of images of what life with them is going to look like. Meanwhile, they avoid any concrete steps toward making these plans. As I said, you might talk about marriage and things like that, making plans for the wedding, and they will change the subject. You may talk about setting a date or discussing, where it will be, what kind of theme you want. They will maybe talk about it for a bit, and they will again change the subject, leave the room, say, "Can't really talk about that now. Don't think we have enough money to do that right now, but I definitely want to marry you. I definitely want to move in with you, or I definitely want to have children with you." So you're on the hook. You stay on the hook. There's his or her little breadcrumb, keeping you interested, keeping you believing that things are going to work out. Now, there's also, I'll give you an example of what this looks like in a financial promise. So the scenario is the narc promises that they will achieve, let's say, significant financial success or a major career breakthrough. that will benefit both of you. Let's say, this is what they'll say to you. Once I get this promotion, we will move into a bigger house and you won't have to work anymore. Or once I get this promotion, once I get this raise, we will go on that amazing vacation that we've talked about since we've met each other. And you may, up till then, not have heard much about doing these things that you've both agreed to do from the beginning. There might have been this long pause in that. And suddenly you are reinvigorated. You are believing that absolutely this is going to happen because look, he or she is now volunteering this information, talking about it themselves. Now, the thing about future faking is they repeat this. They repeat these promises over and over again. Maybe not necessarily in short periods of time, but they're consistent about what they are promising you. However, the promotion never materializes. There's no tangible progress towards the goal that the narc has promised you. Maybe the promotion is based on doing some additional training or getting an additional degree or something like that, but you're seeing no evidence whatsoever from the narc to do or achieve any of those goals. The same with travel plans, vacations, and things like that. They talk about it. They talk about we're going to go on that far-flung exotic holiday and we're going to sort of like having our second honeymoon if you're married, or maybe they're even talking about it as it would be your honeymoon. You're going to go on these adventures together. So maybe they will say something like, next summer we'll travel around Europe for a whole month, or next year we're going to take a month off and get a around the world ticket and backpack. But the plans are never finalized. There's no movement towards setting aside dates. There's no movement towards booking the flights. There's no movement at all towards making any of this a reality. So they are fake. They are faking you out. They are pretending, wearing the mask, that they are going to be everything that you want them to be. They're going to be everything that they promised you they would be from the start, but they don't do it. And there will be a myriad of excuses made when the time comes to book the trip or commit to something. They will come up with the fact that they don't have enough money, or their health isn't great at the moment, or one of their family members needs them, or they can't take the time off work because they have this big project coming up. So look out for these things. And there's another one about development and change. So I'm going to give you a scenario. The narc assures their partner that they will change. They will change problematic behavior. They will seek help for their issues. They will go see a therapist because sometimes I meet couples and I work with couples and he or she really wants to be the narc, that is, wants to keep the person. This is another form of breadcrumbing, as I've defined earlier. They don't want to divorce. They don't want to separate. They don't want to break up. So they'll say, okay, fine, I'll go see that therapist that you want me to see. I really want to work on my issues. I love you. I want to keep you in my life. I can't imagine my life without you. So they make this promise. They may say something like, I know I need to work on my temper. I promise I'll start seeing a therapist soon. I'll deal with my anger. I'll get some anger management. However, the narcissist makes no effort to follow through. And the problematic behaviors continue even when the target says, well, look, I'll book the session for you. Oh, no, I can't do it. And then I have something on at work, or I've got a work trip. They will find ways of putting this off. You, the target, believe that they are planning to do it, and you hang on to that glimmer of hope that this is what's going to happen. Well, they promised me, and we then, the target, make excuses for them, saying, oh yeah, he or she's under a lot of stress at the moment. I understand that this isn't a good time. Yes, they're just recovering from a broken arm or a bad virus or whatever. So we also aid them and enable them to do this future faking. There's another way they do it, future investments in projects. So the scenario of the narcissist might be the narcissist discusses grandiose future projects of investments that will improve our lives together, the narc and the target. So an example would be, I'm going to start a new business and we'll be rich in no time. Because remember, they're quite delusional, they're grandiose, they're entitled, they believe that they can snap their fingers and everything is going to fall into place. They might talk extensively about plans and ideas, but they never take concrete steps to implement them. Maybe one of the things they need to do is go to the bank and arrange a loan, but they never seem to get to the bank. They never seem to figure out how to make that happen. Maybe they need to get a business partner, but nobody is suitable for them. They will sit with you and go through all these names, and there will be something wrong with each one of these people. Now, what is the impact on the target, on the victim? Future faking can severely emotionally and physiologically affect the victim or the target. It creates a cycle of hope. And that leads to disappointment, leading to feelings of confusion, self doubt, and dependency. So you see this vicious cycle. So you get very hopeful about all these amazing plans, and then they're dashed. There's a lot of disappointment after that. And we then, as the victim, as the target, we then go into self and frequently make it our fault. The victim often holds on to the hope that the narcissist will fulfill their promises, which keeps them invested in the relationship, despite ongoing manipulation and abuse. So what happens is as I see it, we develop a muscle memory. Our brain actually rewires. It's this hamster wheel of hope, disappointment, low self-worth, and then they give us hope again. And then there's disappointment and there's low self-worth. And sometimes within that, they can bring in other manipulative strategies, blaming us. Well, you see, it's your fault. It's your fault that I haven't achieved what I want to achieve because you really need to stay home with the children, but you insist on going out to work. But if you stayed home with the children and looked after the home and made my meals and looked after me, I would have more time to do all of these things. So remember the four needs of a narcissist. So what they're needing from you, they're needing service, they're needing safety. And what they're saying is you aren't giving it to me. So what we do is we go inside and go, well, they're right. They're right. Maybe I should consider changing my life. So it's really important that you recognize future faking as a manipulative tactic. I want you, hopefully in this video, I'm sticking my finger in your hamster wheel and I want you to fall off gently, not too gently, but I want you to fall off and wake up to this future faking as a manipulative tactic, because that's what it is. It is crucial for you to wake up to this. It can help you understand the patterns of deceit and take steps towards protecting your own emotional well-being. And ultimately, you might want to get out of this relationship because as I say, run. Do not walk away from a narcissistic relationship. So how can you really deal with this and how can you navigate future faking? What you need is you need a lot of awareness. And I talk about awareness all the time. Awareness is the first step to healing. You cannot change what you don't acknowledge. You can't heal what you don't feel. So awareness is absolutely crucial. Tons of self-care. So this is coming back into self, coming back into our authentic space and acknowledging that this doesn't feel right and honoring those feelings of it not feeling right. So the first thing I'd like you to do is recognize the patterns and understanding that future faking is a manipulative tactic, okay? Please, once you know that, you will wake up and you will go, I am being manipulated. This isn't about me. This is about the narc. Educate yourself. Read about it. If you can afford a therapist, please do see a therapist. If you cannot afford a therapist, go to the library. Get books out. Read about these signs of future faking and narcissistic relationships. Number 2, set realistic expectations. Accept that the narc is unlikely to follow through. You've got the pattern now. What more information do you need? This could be your exit strategy. Now, if you decide to stay, you're really going to have to set a lot of really good boundaries around this, okay? And adjust your expectations, manage your expectations so you don't fall into that deep state of disappointment, frustration, and anger. Focus on their actions, not their words. Really watch what they do. If they're repeatedly telling you things and not following through, there is a huge clue for you that this is future faking. that you'll see if you look back, because narcissistic relationships are much easier to see in hindsight, in the rearview mirror, you will see the pattern of broken promises, consistent unfulfilled commitments. Okay. Set boundaries. Number 4, it's always set boundaries. Establish and enforce clear boundaries. Communicate. I'm going to pause. Communicate your limitations, your boundaries, and the consequences of boundary violation by the narc. So, for example, you might say something like this: I won't discuss future plans until I see some concrete action towards them. That's very valid. And number 5 is maintain independence. Work on maintaining your independence, both emotionally and financially, especially if you are a woman. Financial independence is massive. Ensure you have your own goals, hobbies, and support system outside of the relationship. And this can be very difficult in a narcissistic relationship because they do isolate you from your friends and family. So be aware of that. Document promises. Keep a record of promises. Promises made by the narcissist, and note when they are broken. Show them to the other person. Show them to the narc. On the 15th of May, 2023, you said we were going to go on vacation in next month or the following month. This never happened. Please bring their attention. They are not going to like this, but this can help you see the patterns more clearly and provide evidence if you need to discuss the issue. All right. Seek support. Reach out to friends, family. You might be isolated from the narcissistic relationship. It's absolutely one of the major things that they do. So when you begin to wake up, you will see this and get support from friends, family, support groups. There's support groups out there as well. Talk to others who understand the dynamics of narcissistic relationships. There's so much online. I do lots of videos on this. Many other people do amazing work on this. And as I said earlier, consider getting professional help. If you can't, please at least begin to read about these things. Please educate yourself on them. And really plan. Number 9, I'm going to say, is plan for the future. Consider your long-term well-being in this relationship because it is probably severely impacting on your mental health and well-being. So I will say it one more time: plan an exit strategy. This can include saving money, finding a safe place to stay, gathering support, and self-care. Prioritize yourself, prioritize your self-care, keep yourself emotionally well, keep yourself physically well, do things physical for yourself to download all those great endorphins, some dopamine, so that you can rebalance and level up the disappointment and anger you might be feeling in this relationship. So there's some really great strategies here for you to think about. And as always, you can ask me anything. So what I want to do is thank you very much for following and listening to my thoughts today on future faking and narcissism. And all that remains for me to say is stay safe. Absolutely stay safe. Keep well. And I look forward to seeing you soon.